Welcome to the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Cramer. Our guest today is Gila Kurtz. She is a dog enthusiast and a savvy entrepreneur. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Alicia. Happy to be here.
Let's start by talking about what you have going on in business, because you've got a lot of stuff going on in business. I don't expect you to give the entire picture because it's pretty vast. But why don't you start by telling our listeners a little bit about who you are, what you got going on, so they know who they're going to be listening to for the next 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. So I am a professional dog trainer. That is where the whole journey began. The company that I co-founded with my husband is called Dog is Good. It's a lifestyle brand for dog lovers. And it was created specifically to celebrate this profound relationship that we have with our dogs. And as manufacturers, we create gifts, apparel, home decor, accessory products, specifically for the human at the other end of the leash that makes it possible for them to express who they are and how they live their lives as dog lovers. We also now focus on the other side of the leash as well, the dog themselves. But in the past decade plus, we're now in retail stores all over the world. We license our brand to other manufacturers who use our designs on their products. We have an amazing opportunity for dog lovers to collaborate with our brand and turn their own passions into a business that's fun and simple and that they can enjoy. And what else do we do? So we have a lot of things going on, but collectively, it's a dog-centric company. And we're focused on changing lives one mission at a time through our nonprofit and through the work that we get to do each day.
That literally was scratching the surface.
That was at 30,000. I just want to give you a taste of what we do. Yes.
So people love their dogs for sure. And we hear it all the time. We hear follow your passion. But then we also hear the other business advice. And that is, don't do what you want, do what the market wants. Now, you found yourself in a position where you kind of have the best of both worlds because there is such a big market for your passion. I'd love to talk a little bit about how you have tuned in to your passion to create something that has really gained so much positive momentum and how you continue to evolve and grow and branch off of that. I know that's a big question, but I'm going to trust that you know exactly what to say.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big question. I'd like to break that down for just a second. So you mentioned passion versus what the market is demanding. And you're absolutely right. I have the best of both worlds. If you were to draw that Venn diagram, and I sit, right there in the middle. And what was interesting is that Venn diagram started years ago before the idea even came to fruition. My formal education is in education. So I used to teach high school, absolutely loved it. And through a series of events of entering into the military as a military spouse, my husband taking me all over the place, I was introduced to the world of entrepreneurship because I couldn't get a job in all the different places every single time. Through that, building a foundation and understanding of what the world of entrepreneurship and building things from your own ideas and from your own efforts, that became really, sort of a starting point for me. But through a series of events of adopting a puppy and exploring different things, I was able to reconnect with my original passion of I love dogs. I want to work with dogs. I also love people and like to teach people. Oh my gosh, dog training, that's just a natural fit. Now, the trends that have really propelled the pet industry forward have been in momentum really for the past 15 to 20 years. It's just no mistake that this is one of the fastest, most recession-proof industries right now. And it has to do with the fact that the reason people are so attached to their dogs, the reason these relationships are so deep and profound is twofold. One, I believe it has to do with technology. We're in a world where we are so connected, yet we are more disconnected from each other than ever before. And at the same time, and so these animals feel this unconditional love and this need, whether we're conscious of it or not, that's very present. And then you start looking at some of these other trends in terms of basic demographics of the millennials and Gen X, which is the largest segment of pet ownership now, overtaking the baby boomers. They are not having kids right away. These fur babies are their babies. And so that is fueling the industry as well. And so it does create a perfect storm of celebrating who someone is as a person, making it possible for them to literally, at an emotional level, experience their first 2 minutes home again and again and again. For listeners, I'll just clarify what I mean by that. When you're pre-COVID, when you were out and you're coming home and you're turning the knob on your door, and on the other side is a dog or dogs, and they're racing towards you. And that moment, it's just this pure or if you've seen a puppy out on the street, you're like, that moment creates all this chemical change in the brain at a real physiological level. And when people connect with the messaging that we create with our brand, that same thing happens. It takes them into that moment. And it is for that reason that our brand has grown the way it has, with products no one needs, but everybody craves, if that makes sense. I don't know if I fully answered that, but the joy is that, the love and the passion is there for the animals themselves, the desire to make a difference as well, but coupled with really powerful trends that are going on externally, it does make for a really great business opportunity.
Let's talk a little bit about how you are helping other people to create something similar for themselves. Mm-hmm. So I'd love for you to just elaborate on that part of your business a little bit more.
Okay, awesome. It's actually my passion, biggest component that I love in our company, because we do have many verticals, but this one is very special. So when we first started our company, Dog is Good, the simple way that we did it was create products, go to market, a fair, a pet expo of some sort, and share it with other dog lovers. And that grew very quickly. In fact, one of my friends from Virginia flew out to California to help me with a 3-day event and watched as this frenzy took place over this 3-day period and wanted to do it herself. And so for several years, we had a couple people who were getting products from us and going to their own, events and things and setting up. But we didn't really actually put a structure around it. We didn't have an opportunity per se associated with it. But in 2017, something really interesting happened. I received about 8 phone calls in a 2-week period from individuals who saw one of maybe 4 other people around the country doing one of these events. And they asked, hey, can I do this too? And it clicked with me in that moment. Oh my goodness, we're actually now in a position, we've made all the mistakes. We know how to get this done and to shortcut it for others, to create an opportunity where they could also turn their love and passion for dogs, their entrepreneurial spirit, into something that was fun and that was simple, but also profitable. And that could also give them an opportunity to give back to causes that they believed in. And so we created our Dog is Good pop-up shop program. And now it is a very structured, methodical program. We don't take everybody because we're very committed to ensuring each individual's success. They get to run their business based on their own schedules, their own goals, their own dreams, but we provide the training, the technology, the marketing, all of the things that they need to build a successful business. And beyond that, though, the community that we're building around that are a community of some serious go-givers. I love using the title of the book, The Go-Giver. It's one of my all-time favorites.
I've got it on my bookshelf.
There you go. It's right here on my credenza thing over there. And building a community around that value and contribution. So I just love that aspect of it and really enjoy that part of our business.
That is an incredible opportunity. And I'm sure it's very fulfilling. And now I also have to ask, because as a business mindset coach, having done this work with entrepreneurs at all different levels, including very successful, very affluent business owners, everyone's bumping up against mindset stuff. And it's even more common in the initial stages of entrepreneurship to have a lot of cleanup work to do to get that initial momentum, to overcome all of those mindset hurdles that come up. I'm curious what you're seeing with your people. Are you in the trenches with them? Are you hearing their stories of limitation?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. And I do believe that everyone comes to the table with their limiting beliefs and a particular paradigm in which they view the world, about themselves and about business, their own capabilities, et cetera. And yeah, that definitely does come up. And that is the most important piece. I always tell everybody the how you do anything that's easy. That's the easy part. But who are you being right now? What thoughts are you bringing to the table right from the get-go? All of these stories and limiting beliefs and things that you're not even aware of that are driving your whole operating system, because that definitely needs to be worked on. In fact, I have another element within our company that addresses a lot of that. It's a group I call Alpha Reimagined, which is actually an acronym, which stands for audit, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for where we are right now, and and where we prefer to be. The letting go of limiting beliefs, the pursuing on purpose and habit creation, and then taking action and accelerating the process is the last day. But that is something that is in play every single day. I don't care if you're starting a business on day one or you're in year 25. Mindset is a element that is you have the right mindset, you're on the right path. You don't, it doesn't matter how you do anything or what else is going on, you're never going to achieve that full maximal potential for yourself.
I love that you say that. And that's the theme throughout almost every episode. It really is at the foundation of success. And it's so interesting too. You pointed this out, that you can know how to do something and not do it. A lot of people know how to lose weight, and yet a large number of people are not able to do it. And it's not hard. We're talking about basic stuff. You eat less calories, you choose healthier options, you drink plenty of water, and you get adequate exercise. It's really quite simple. Yet there is a bigger pandemic than the pandemic that we're currently in. And a lot of people just cannot break through those self-imposed limitations, that self-imposed self-sabotage. And it's the same in business. And a lot of people either have this idea that when you step into business, that it's going to be all rainbows and butterflies, and the clients and customers are just somehow magically going to show up, especially if you're really passionate about what you do. Or they take the opposite stance, and it's so terrifying. It's so monumentally challenging and of course there's everything in between. But regardless of what that initial sort of perspective is, there's so much of that mindset stuff, just like the person who wants to lose weight, they just are bumping up against so much of that programming that does not support their success. So now I want to pivot just ever so slightly and segue. This is like the perfect time to do it. And I want to talk about you as the entrepreneur, because you've achieved a lot of success for yourself by other people's standards. So are you willing to share something about your own mindset journey with us that you had to overcome in order to get to where you are today?
Yeah, that's such a great statements that you just made, and a great question too. And what I want to add to what you're just sharing as I'm listening is that everything boils down to, I think, in this mindset piece, the identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get up and I work out because I consider myself an athlete. So to not work out for more than a few days or a week at a time is just not part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
When people struggle in business, their identity is someone who feels things are hard, things don't, are difficult or whatever, or their identity is, well, I'm a success. And I'm going to start with that first. I have always viewed myself as successful. In school, I was that overachiever, right? Like, I can do that. And I'm going to be the best at it. And I will be the best at it. And that sounds, some people might say, oh, that sounds so conceited, but no, it's an internal conversation. It's not me telling others. It's me knowing that I have this capability and I'm going to show myself how great I can be at something. It's for me only, for me personally. The external stuff, that's just frosting on the cake, I guess. It doesn't even really matter. It's not what really is the driver. And so with that, though, also came for me, here's where my mindset piece was a challenge. When there's a great line in Greg McKeown's book, Essentialism, where he says, the pursuit of success can often be the catalyst for failure. And my interpretation of that statement is, when you are moving forward and you're moving forward quickly at a pace that is gaining momentum, which was the case for us when we were first launching Dog is Good. To be honest with you, it was the case for me in every business that I did. I don't do things slowly. I make them happen quickly. And with that comes a momentum, right? And for me in Dog is Good, that momentum started to impact external life, right? So the more success I was experiencing or seeing or witnessing within the company, the more I was doing. If I'm spending more time doing those things because I believe, and that's the mindset piece, I believe the more that I do, the faster it'll come, without having full clarity on why and where it's going. It's just that the locomotive left the station. And that was the biggest learning piece for me. And I'll highlight that in just a moment. But that suffering in that growth meant wasn't present for friends. Yeah, I lived in a home with my family, but wasn't fully present there, spending less time doing the things that I also enjoyed outside of work, and really, quite honestly, losing oneself in the process, to the point where success, as others define it, no longer became relevant to me because I didn't recognize who I was anymore. And I was deeply, deeply clinically depressed. So, taking control of that and going through my own personal journey, a journey of self-discovery that I always say it was through the eyes of dog, right? I had a yellow lab that became my teacher through anecdotally, right? But that was such a pivotal moment, and I've never turned back. And the biggest lesson for me that I take forward is, number one, you better know why you're doing anything. And that why better be aligned in your heart and your soul, as well as in your mind. And secondly, you have to have clarity for that vision. That piece was missing for me. Growing a company sounds exciting, but what does that mean? Like quantify that and why. And then that was such a turning point for me. And then it became, all right, well, who do I need to become? To recognize myself again, get grounded in my values, stay aligned in values and purpose. And how can I move forward with more peace and ease and have greater impact? And every day I work on this, every single day. And that's a habit because that's who I am. I am a person who focuses on growth and the impact that I want to have in the world and the legacy that I hope to leave. Just like I'm an athlete, so it's all part of the daily routine.
I love what you shared and that you started it with self-image, our belief about ourselves. I always say, look at your life and what you're experiencing right now. It will show you what your beliefs and expectations are about yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, you've got to do the work to change it.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So this has been fantastic. I wish we had more time because I would love to pick your brain even more. But I know that we don't have a lot more time. And I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to share with our listeners how they can learn more about your companies, how they can connect with you. Right now, there are a lot of people listening who they love their fur babies. And they're thinking to themselves, boy, oh boy, I've got to check out what she's doing. And there may be some people who are listening who are saying, if I could have a business that revolved around my passion with that type of mentorship, that type of support, that type of structure, I've just got to learn more about that. So can you share a couple of websites with us?
Absolutely. So the main website that people can go to is dogisgood.com. So if you're a dog lover, you will have so much fun on that website, and that is fantastic. We welcome you into our community. And you can also become part of our Dog is Good lifestyle group on Facebook. Great community there as well, all for dog lovers. If you're interested in learning more about the Dog is Good pop-up shop opportunity, or you know someone who is, on the homepage on Dog is Good, at the bottom is a block that you can click on to access more information and submit an application. We do not accept everybody. We are very, very intentional. We want to ensure people's success. So it's a wonderful opportunity. And so I welcome people to check that out. Also, if you are a leader of a company, I know there's a lot of listeners who are, there's two ways that I can serve you there. I do speak on leadership, how to become it's a dog-centric approach to becoming a transformational leader of your pack. I'm happy to do any speaking engagements for that. And also, I welcome you to check out the Alpha Reimagined, which is your personal journey to fetch anything that you want in business and in life. And that is as a small group membership for dog moms mostly, but of course we'll accept anybody with pets. Anyway, and those are the easiest ways to check us out and to connect with us and myself as well.
Now, before I let you run off with your pack, I need to extract out of you a little bit more gold.
Okay.
So I'd love for you to just share with our listeners any final parting thoughts that you feel inspired to share.
I think I'm just going to share what I kind of live with each and every day. And that is a dog can change the way you see the world. When the student is ready to learn, the teacher will appear always. And the teachers are often right around us. If you just take a moment to watch how your dogs are purely present, how they go after and chase the things that they want with pure joy, regardless of whether they get them or not, how they take time to unwind and make time for play and focus, on the important, at least what's important to them in the moment. Might be a bone, it might be a bird, who knows? But that it is possible to live a life inspired by dog. And I think that's what I want to leave people with.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy and your wisdom with us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for including me. And I'm excited to listen to more of your podcasts and listen to some of your other guests.
Well, we have lots of wonderful guests like yourself, which is why our listeners need to make sure that they subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, we will see you in the next episode.